Tell me, have you ever wondered if winning the lottery could be more than just luck? What if it was all about the power of your mind and belief? I have always believed that the key to unlocking everything you desire lies within you. It's not about waiting for external circumstances to align or hoping that luck will somehow find its way to you. The truth is, you already possess everything you need to create the life you desire. And when I say everything, I mean everything. Whether that's financial abundance, personal success, or something as specific as winning the lottery. What if I told you that the reason most people struggle to achieve their desires is because they are waiting for something outside themselves to change? They hope for luck, or wait for an opportunity to present itself. But the reality is, luck has nothing to do with it. Manifestation at its core is about assumption. It's about knowing beyond a shadow of a doubt that the life you desire is already yours. Think about it. When you assume something to be true, your mind accepts it as fact. The moment you accept the assumption that you are worthy of success, worthy of wealth, and worthy of anything you desire, your mind will begin to work in alignment with that assumption. It's a subtle shift, but an incredibly powerful one. It's not about wishing, hoping, or desiring. It's about living as if the desire has already been fulfilled. It's about assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. We live in a world where most people are taught to look outside of themselves for answers. They are taught to rely on external factors, whether that's their job, their social status, or their environment, to determine how much success or abundance they will have in their lives. But this approach keeps them trapped in a cycle of limitation. The truth is, external circumstances don't create your reality. They are merely a reflection of your inner state of mind. Your thoughts, feelings, and assumptions shape your world, and your reality will always align with what you believe to be true. When I began to understand this principle, I realized that if I wanted to manifest something like winning the lottery, I needed to stop waiting for a sign from the universe and start acting as though the thing I desired was already mine. It wasn't enough to simply imagine the lottery win or hope that it would happen. I needed to live in the feeling of already being a lottery winner. I had to feel the joy, the excitement, the relief of financial freedom, and I had to feel it as if it were happening right now. In this process, the key is emotion. It's not enough to have a mental picture of the thing you desire. You must also embody the emotions that come with it. The power of manifestation lies in the ability to feel as if the event has already occurred. This is where most people fall short. They may have the mental picture of their desired outcome, but they don't truly believe it. And if you don't believe it on a deep emotional level, then the universe has no reason to bring it into your reality. When I imagined myself winning the lottery, I didn't just picture a check with my name on it. I didn't just picture the money in my bank account. I imagined the entire experience, the feeling of having already received that money, the joy of knowing I could take care of everything I needed, the excitement of having the financial freedom to do whatever I wanted. This is where most people make the mistake. They think of the money in isolation, but the feeling of the wish fulfilled is not just about the physical item or amount you want. It's about the experience that comes with it. When you assume the feeling of that experience, the universe will align your circumstances to make it a reality. Now, this doesn't mean that you should passively wait and do nothing. Assumption is not about idly sitting by and hoping that something will fall into your lap. It's about aligning your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the reality you wish to create. It's about living as though the thing you desire has already happened, and from that place of certainty, you will begin to notice opportunities, ideas, and circumstances that were previously hidden from you. This is the subtle yet powerful magic of assumption. You may be wondering, but what about doubt? What if I don't fully believe in this process? How can I be sure that it will work for me? And the answer is simple. Doubt is the enemy of manifestation. Doubt weakens the power of your assumption. It creates a split in your energy, and the universe responds by giving you more of what you don't want. If you want to manifest something, whether it's a lottery win, a promotion at work, or a new relationship, you must assume without question that it is already yours. This doesn't mean that you won't experience moments of doubt or uncertainty along the way. What it means is that you don't let those doubts take root. When doubt arises, you acknowledge it, but you don't allow it to dominate your thoughts. Instead, you refocus on the feeling of your wish fulfilled. You remind yourself that what you desire is already in your life, and you live from that assumption. It's important to understand that the universe does not respond to your words. It responds to your feelings. Your feelings are the language of your subconscious mind, and it is the subconscious that ultimately shapes your reality. When you feel a deep sense of gratitude for the manifestation of your desires, when you feel the emotions of success, wealth, and abundance, you are sending out a powerful signal to the universe that you are already in alignment with what you want. And in turn, the universe will bring your desires into your experience. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, living from the feeling of the wish fulfilled becomes second nature. Your assumptions will begin to shape your reality effortlessly, and you will start to see the external world change to match your internal state. The key is persistence. It's not about one fleeting thought or one moment of inspiration. It's about consistently assuming that your desires are already realized and living as though that assumption is true. This is how I won the lottery, not once, but 8 times. I didn't wait for the world to change before I assumed that it already had. I didn't wait for proof before I believed. I simply assumed with certainty and confidence that what I desired was already mine. And when I did, the universe responded by bringing it into my physical reality. You may have heard people talk about the law of assumption, or the idea that what you assume to be true will eventually manifest in your life. It's a simple concept, yet incredibly powerful. The truth is, this law governs every aspect of our existence, whether we're consciously aware of it or not. We are constantly assuming things about ourselves, our environment, and the world around us, and our reality is shaped by those assumptions. If you want to change your life, you must change your assumptions. Imagine for a moment that the life you desire already exists, whether it's the financial abundance you crave, a dream job, a loving relationship, or even something as specific as winning the lottery. It's already there waiting for you. It exists in your mind as a possibility, and that possibility becomes a reality the moment you assume it is true. Now you may be thinking, that sounds too simple, but simplicity is the key. It is precisely in this simplicity that the law of assumption reveals its true power. You don't need to spend years trying to manifest your desires. You don't need to wait for the stars to align or for everything to fall into place. All you need to do is assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. It's important to understand that what you assume to be true is not just a fleeting thought or wishful thinking. Assumption is a state of mind, a way of living, a deeply held belief. It is not something you do for a few minutes or a few hours. It is something you embody every day. When you live from the assumption that your desires are already fulfilled, you begin to see the world through a different lens. Your perception shifts, and your reality begins to change to match your assumption. If you want to manifest something, whether it's wealth, success, love, or health, the first step is to assume that it is already yours. Imagine it vividly and feel the emotions that come with it. Imagine the joy of receiving your desire, the relief of having achieved it, the peace of knowing it's already in your life. As you do this, you are impressing this assumption upon your subconscious mind. And when your subconscious mind accepts an assumption, it starts to work in your favor, bringing your desires into your experience. One of the most powerful aspects of assumption is that it allows you to bypass the limitations of the conscious mind. The conscious mind is full of doubts, fears, and negative beliefs that can block your desires from manifesting. But when you assume something to be true, the conscious mind is bypassed and the subconscious takes over. This is where the magic happens. The subconscious mind is not bound by the limitations of the conscious mind. It operates on the assumption that whatever you impress upon it will become a reality. Take, for example, the process of winning the lottery. If you want to manifest a lottery win, you don't need to focus on the mechanics of buying tickets or trying to pick the right numbers. Instead, you focus on the assumption that you are already a lottery winner. You live as though the money is already in your bank account. You feel the excitement of receiving the winning ticket and you experience the joy of financial freedom. These emotions, these feelings of having already won, are the key to impressing the assumption upon your subconscious mind. Now, this doesn't mean that you simply think about the lottery win for a few minutes and then forget about it. It's not about simply visualizing a picture of a check or imagining yourself holding a ticket. It's about feeling as if it has already happened. This feeling is the key to making the assumption real. When you feel the emotions of your desire being fulfilled, you send a powerful signal to your subconscious mind that this is your reality. And the subconscious, being loyal to its programming, will work tirelessly to bring that reality into being. It's important to recognize that assumption is not just about hoping or wishing for something. It's about knowing without a doubt that it is already yours. It's about living as if your desire has already come to pass. This is where many people make a mistake. They may have a desire, but they lack the belief that it is already theirs. They may visualize the outcome, but they do not feel it deeply in their hearts. Without this feeling of certainty, the assumption cannot take root in the subconscious mind. Assumption is not just about saying, I am rich or I am healthy. It's about feeling what it would feel like to be rich or healthy. It's about imagining yourself in the life you desire, experiencing it with all of your senses and embodying that experience. When you do this, you align yourself with the energy of your desire, and the universe begins to bring it to you. Another important aspect of assumption is consistency. You cannot assume something once and expect it to manifest instantly. The key is to assume it consistently, day after day, until it becomes second nature. You must live from the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled, no matter what your external circumstances may look like. The more you practice this, the stronger your assumption becomes, and the more powerful your manifestations will be. Your external world is simply a reflection of your inner world. If you want to change your circumstances, you must change your assumptions. If you assume that you will always be broke, you will be. If you assume that you are destined to fail, you will fail. But if you assume that you are worthy of success, that you are deserving of wealth, and that your desires are already yours, your external world will shift to match that assumption. It's not about magic or waiting for things to fall into place. It's about living in a state of certainty, knowing that what you desire is already on its way to you. Your assumptions shape your reality, and when you change your assumptions, your reality changes with them. This process is not reserved for just one area of your life. It works with everything: health, relationships, career, finances. Whatever you desire, you can assume it is already yours. When you assume it with confidence and feel the emotions of its fulfillment, you are tapping into a power that is greater than anything external. It's the power of your own mind, and it is limitless. If you want to see change in your life, change your assumptions. Assume that you are already living the life you desire, and the universe will respond by bringing that life to you. This is the law of assumption, and it is as simple as living from the belief that what you desire is already yours. Manifesting wealth is a concept that many people dream of, but few truly understand the power behind it. We live in a world that constantly reinforces the idea that success, abundance, and financial freedom are things that must be earned through hard work, struggle, and sacrifice. This belief has been ingrained in us since childhood, but it's important to understand that this mindset can limit your ability to achieve the wealth and prosperity you desire. The key to manifesting wealth is not to toil endlessly or hope for a lucky break, but to change your inner state of being. and to assume that wealth is already yours. Manifesting wealth begins with an understanding that the universe does not respond to what you want. It responds to what you believe is already yours. Too often people say they want wealth, but are focused on the lack of it. They are constantly reminded of the bills, the debts, and the scarcity that exists in their lives. When your attention is focused on what you don't have, that is exactly what you continue to create. This is because you are feeding your subconscious mind with the belief that you are not wealthy, and it will reflect that belief back to you in your external reality. To manifest wealth, you must change this focus. You must shift your attention to the assumption that wealth is already present in your life. This assumption should be so powerful that you no longer see yourself as someone who is working to become wealthy, but as someone who already has wealth. When you live from this assumption, your subconscious mind begins to work in alignment with your desire, and it begins to manifest opportunities, circumstances, and ideas that match your assumption of abundance. Wealth is not something that is outside of you, waiting to be discovered or stumbled upon. Wealth is an energy, a vibration, and it exists within you. The key to bringing it into your physical experience is to align yourself with that energy. You must feel wealthy, think wealthy thoughts, and believe with absolute certainty that you deserve and are worthy of wealth. This is not about faking it or pretending to be wealthy. It's about living in a state of gratitude, feeling as though the abundance you seek is already yours. When you assume the feeling of wealth, you align your inner world with the energy of abundance. Imagine what it would feel like to have everything you need, to never worry about money, and to live without the limitations of financial stress. This is not an impossible fantasy. It is a state of being that you can embody right now. The more you assume the feeling of wealth, the more your outer reality will begin to shift in alignment with that assumption. Many people find it difficult to embrace the feeling of wealth because they are so used to focusing on their current financial situation. If they are not rich right now, they struggle to believe they could ever be. This is a trap. Your current financial situation is not a reflection of your true worth or your ability to manifest wealth. It is simply a reflection of the beliefs you have been holding up to this point. These beliefs can change, and when they do, your reality will change with them. You see, money, like anything else in life, responds to your energy. When you assume that you are wealthy, you begin to vibrate at a frequency of abundance. This attracts wealth into your experience. Opportunities to make money will appear. New ideas for increasing your income will come to you, and you will begin to notice things that you never saw before. This is not coincidence. This is the result of the law of assumption at work. When you shift your focus to the assumption of wealth, you also begin to eliminate the beliefs of scarcity that have kept you stuck. Scarcity is an illusion, a belief that there is not enough to go around. It tells you that there is a limit to the amount of money, success, and abundance in the world. But the truth is, there is no limit. The universe is abundant, and there's more than enough for everyone. When you choose to believe in abundance, you open yourself up to receiving it. The next step in manifesting wealth is to create a vision for what you want your financial life to look like. Picture yourself living in abundance, enjoying the lifestyle that you desire. What does that look like for you? Is it having the freedom to travel, to give generously, or to live in a beautiful home? Take a moment to really imagine this reality. Feel the emotions associated with it. Excitement, gratitude, peace, and joy. When you can feel the emotions of already having what you desire, you are sending a powerful signal to your subconscious mind. The subconscious does not distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. It will accept your vision as your new reality and will begin to bring it into your experience. The key is to consistently embody the feeling of wealth. This is not something you do for a few moments during the day and then forget about. Wealth is a state of being, and to manifest it, you must live as though you are already wealthy. This means acting with confidence, making decisions from a place of abundance, and trusting that opportunities will present themselves to you. The more you live in this state of certainty, the more wealth will flow to you. Wealth is a natural state of being. It is not something that is earned through struggle or sacrifice. It is not something that is reserved for a select few. It is a frequency, and you can tap into that frequency by changing your internal state. The more you assume the feeling of wealth, the more your reality will reflect that assumption. This is not magic or wishful thinking. It is a law of the universe. In order to manifest wealth, you must take consistent action toward your goals. It's not enough to just assume the feeling of wealth and wait for things to happen. The universe responds to the energy you put out, and action is a key component of that energy. However, this action must come from a place of confidence and certainty. When you take action from the assumption that you are already wealthy, you will find that opportunities and ideas flow to you effortlessly. You will be guided toward the right people, the right opportunities, and the right circumstances to make your financial goals a reality. Wealth is not just about money, it's about freedom. It's about living without limitations and being able to do what you love without worrying about how you will pay for it. When you embrace the assumption of wealth, you are stepping into a life of freedom and abundance. The key is to assume that freedom is already yours and to act in alignment with that assumption every single day. The power of belief is one of the most influential forces you possess. It is not only the foundation of your thoughts, but it shapes everything you experience in life. Many of us are conditioned to believe that success, wealth, and happiness are outcomes of hard work, circumstances, or luck. But the true source of success is rooted within the mind, in the beliefs you hold about yourself and your capabilities. If you want to manifest something in your life, whether it's wealth, health, or success, you must first cultivate a deep belief that it is already yours. Your belief is the lens through which you view the world. When you believe something to be true, you align yourself with that truth, and the world around you must reflect it. It is as if you are wearing glasses, and those glasses are tinted with your beliefs. If you believe that you are worthy of success, you will see opportunities for success everywhere you look. If you believe that wealth is within your reach, you will recognize opportunities for wealth that you may have otherwise overlooked. On the other hand, if you believe that success is for others but not for you, that belief will shape your reality, keeping you stuck in a cycle of limitation. One of the most profound truths you can embrace is that your outer world is simply a reflection of your inner world. What you believe about yourself and your life is what the world will reflect back to you. When you believe that you are capable of achieving something, the universe aligns to bring that belief into reality. If you believe that you can achieve great wealth, success, and happiness, the world will respond by offering you the circumstances, opportunities, and people who will help bring that belief to fruition. Belief is not something you simply hold in your conscious mind. It is something that is deeply embedded in your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is constantly working behind the scenes, shaping your experiences based on the beliefs you hold. If your subconscious believes that you are not worthy of success or that wealth is only for a select few, your external world will confirm that belief. The challenge then is to shift those beliefs to align with your desires. The key to shifting your beliefs is to assume that your desire is already true. It's not enough to simply hope for change or wish for something better. You must believe with absolute certainty that the life you desire is already yours. When you live from the assumption that your desires are already fulfilled, you begin to change your inner state. Your belief in the possibility of achieving what you desire becomes so strong that your subconscious mind begins to work in harmony with that belief. And when your subconscious mind is aligned with your desires, it works to bring those desires into your physical reality. For example, if you want to manifest wealth, you must first believe that wealth is already yours. You must assume the feeling of abundance, as though you already have all the money you need. This belief will begin to alter your behavior, your thoughts, and your actions. You will find yourself noticing opportunities to make money that you might have missed before. You will start to make decisions from a place of abundance rather than lack. And as you do, your external circumstances will begin to shift to reflect your new belief. Your belief in your ability to achieve your desires also influences your actions. When you believe that success is possible for you, you take bold, confident actions toward your goals. You don't hesitate or second-guess yourself because you know that success is inevitable. On the other hand, when you lack belief in yourself, you may hesitate, procrastinate, or doubt your abilities, which keeps you stuck and prevents you from moving forward. To cultivate belief in your desires, you must be willing to change the way you see yourself. You are not just a product of your past experiences or current circumstances. You are the creator of your reality. And the first step in creating a different reality is to change your beliefs about who you are. If you want to achieve great wealth, for example, you must begin to see yourself as a wealthy person. This means changing your identity and stepping into the role of someone who is already abundant. When you do this, your actions and your thoughts will naturally align with your new identity, and your world will begin to reflect that change. One of the most powerful ways to change your beliefs is through visualization. Visualization allows you to vividly imagine yourself already living the life you desire. You must create a mental image of yourself living in abundance, experiencing success, and achieving your goals. The key to visualization is not just to see the end result, but to feel the emotions associated with that outcome. Feel the joy, the excitement, and the satisfaction of already having what you desire. The more real and vivid you make this mental picture, the more your subconscious mind will accept it as your reality. As you continue to visualize your desired outcome and feel the emotions of already having it, you begin to replace your old beliefs with new ones. Your subconscious mind begins to accept the assumption that success and abundance are your natural state, and it begins to work to bring that assumption into your physical reality. This process may take time, but with consistent effort, your beliefs will begin to shift and your world will begin to change. It's also important to recognize that belief is a constant practice. You don't simply believe something once and then expect it to manifest. Belief is something you must cultivate daily. Each day you must reinforce the belief that what you desire is already yours. This is why it's important to stay focused on your desires and keep your thoughts aligned with them. If you allow doubt to creep in or begin to question whether your desires are possible, you undermine your belief and delay your manifestation. One of the most important things to remember is that your beliefs are not fixed. They can be changed. If you believe that you are destined to be poor, unsuccessful, or unhealthy, that belief is simply a result of your past experiences and conditioning. But it is not your ultimate truth. You have the power to change your beliefs and create a new reality for yourself. The key is to recognize that your beliefs shape your world and to take responsibility for the beliefs you hold. By changing your beliefs, you change your reality. The most powerful belief you can hold is the belief in yourself. When you believe in your ability to manifest what you desire, you align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with that belief. You stop waiting for external circumstances to change, and instead, you begin to create the reality you desire from within. This is where true power lies, within you, in the beliefs you hold, and in the certainty that you are capable of achieving anything you desire. The process of manifestation is often misunderstood. Many people believe that achieving their desires is a matter of waiting for the perfect opportunity or hoping for a sudden stroke of luck. But the true process of manifestation involves something far deeper and more powerful than mere hope or wishful thinking. It involves living as if your desires are already a reality. The law of assumption teaches us that the moment we assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, we align ourselves with the forces that will bring that desire into our physical world. Living as though your desires are already fulfilled is not just about daydreaming or envisioning a future reality. It is about a shift in your perception, a change in your inner state, and a deep, unwavering belief that what you desire is already yours. This is where most people struggle. They wait for external circumstances to change before they allow themselves to feel the fulfillment of their desires. But the key is to feel it first. When you can live from the assumption that your desires are already fulfilled, you shift your vibration to match that of your desired outcome, and the universe must respond by aligning circumstances and events to reflect that assumption. This is not a passive process. Manifestation requires active participation in the feeling of your wish fulfilled. You cannot simply wish for something and sit back waiting for it to arrive. The universe is not a delivery service. It responds to the energy you put out. Your thoughts, emotions, and actions must be in harmony with the assumption that your desires are already realized. The more you embody this assumption, the more the world around you will begin to change in alignment with it. This is why living as though your desires are already fulfilled is so powerful. It shifts your energy and sends a clear signal to the universe that you are already living the reality you want to create. To truly live as though your desires are already fulfilled, you must immerse yourself in the feelings associated with your goal. If you desire financial abundance, for example, you must feel the emotions of having already achieved that abundance. Imagine the relief and joy of never having to worry about money again. Feel the freedom of knowing that your financial needs are always met. When you fully embody these feelings, you align yourself with the energy of abundance, and this energy will begin to attract the circumstances and people that will help you bring your desires into physical form. The key here is not just to visualize the outcome, but to feel the emotions that come with it. These emotions are the secret to manifesting your desires because they activate the law of assumption. The importance of feeling your desire as if it has already been fulfilled cannot be overstated. When you feel it as if it's already true, you are essentially telling your subconscious mind that this is your reality. And once the subconscious mind accepts this assumption, it begins to work in your favor, aligning your thoughts, behaviors, and actions with that assumption. The subconscious is the creative force behind all manifestation. And when it is programmed to accept the assumption that your desires are already realized, it begins to bring forth the people, situations, and opportunities that will make it so. Now, this does not mean that you should ignore practical steps or actions required to achieve your goals. Manifestation is not about sitting back and waiting for things to happen. It is about taking inspired action from the place of knowing that your desires are already in motion. When you live as though your desires are already fulfilled, you naturally act from a place of confidence, purpose, and certainty. You take steps that align with your vision, and as you do, the universe begins to provide you with the people, resources, and opportunities that support your journey. Many people fail to manifest their desires because they don't allow themselves to fully embrace the feeling of fulfillment. They may visualize their goal or wish for it, but they remain attached to the idea that it is something they do not yet have. They believe that they must earn it or work for it, and they wait for external circumstances to change before they feel the joy of already having it. But the truth is, the external world cannot change until your inner world shifts. The moment you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you align yourself with the energy of your desire, and the universe begins to rearrange itself to bring that desire into your experience. One of the most powerful aspects of living as though your desires are already fulfilled is that it takes you out of the realm of lack and limitation. When you focus on what you do not yet have, you reinforce the idea of scarcity. But when you live from the assumption that your desires are already fulfilled, you shift your focus to abundance. This shift in focus is crucial because what you focus on expands. If you focus on what you do not yet have, you continue to attract more of that lack. But if you focus on the feeling of already having it, you attract more of that abundance into your life. Living as though your desires are already fulfilled also helps to eliminate doubt and fear. Fear is the opposite of certainty, and doubt undermines your ability to manifest your desires. When you live from the assumption that your desires are already realized, you eliminate the space for doubt to enter. You no longer question whether or not it will happen, because you know with certainty that it already has. This state of knowing is what propels the manifestation process forward. The law of assumption is a universal law. It is not limited by time or space. When you assume that your desire is already fulfilled, you are tapping into a force that transcends physical reality. The universe responds to your belief, and as your belief grows stronger, so does the power of your assumption. The more you live from the assumption that your desires are already a reality, the more powerful the energy becomes, and the faster your desires will manifest. In the process of manifestation, living as though your desires are already fulfilled is not just a mental exercise. It is a way of being. It is a complete shift in how you see yourself and the world around you. When you embrace this shift, you stop waiting for things to change. You stop hoping for a miracle. You recognize that you are the creator of your reality and your desires are already on their way to you. The only thing required of you is to live in the assumption that they are already fulfilled, and the world will mirror that assumption back to you. The moment you live from the assumption of fulfillment, you align with the forces that are working to bring your desires into the physical realm. When you begin to understand the power of assumption, you start to realize that your external world is not as fixed as it seems. It is not the result of random events or external circumstances, but is deeply connected to the inner assumptions you hold about yourself and the world. The key to manifesting anything you desire, whether it is a new job, financial success, or a loving relationship, lies in your ability to assume deeply and unwaveringly that your desire is already realized. This process is not about simply hoping or wishing for something. It is about a shift in consciousness, a change in the way you perceive your reality. You must begin to assume that your desires are already fulfilled. This assumption is not passive, it is an active state of being. It is about stepping into the role of the person who already has what they desire. The moment you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you change the energy that surrounds you. You move from a state of lack or wanting to one of certainty and abundance. For example, if you desire wealth, it is not enough to simply think about money. You must live as though you are already wealthy. Feel the security, the peace, and the freedom that comes with financial abundance. When you assume the feeling of being wealthy, you align your mind and body with the vibration of wealth. This is the key. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is the secret to unlocking your desires. The human mind is incredibly powerful. The subconscious mind does not differentiate between what is imagined and what is physically real. When you vividly imagine your desired outcome and feel the emotions of already having it, your subconscious accepts it as a reality. And because the subconscious mind is the creative force behind all that manifests in your life, once it accepts the assumption, it begins to work tirelessly to bring it into being. When you assume something to be true, you are essentially telling your subconscious mind that this is the reality you are living in. Your thoughts and feelings create a magnetic force that attracts experiences, people, and opportunities that match that assumed reality. The universe, or the creative power behind all things, responds to your internal state and aligns your external world to match what you believe to be true. This is why the law of assumption is so powerful, because it operates on the principle that the world around you is a reflection of your inner beliefs and assumptions. This process of assumption is not about simply repeating affirmations or visualizing your goals for a few minutes a day. It requires a shift in identity. It requires that you see yourself as the person who already has what you want, regardless of what your current circumstances may look like. If you want to manifest success, you must assume the identity of a successful person. Live from that assumption, embody that feeling, and begin to take actions from that place of certainty. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you no longer act out of fear, doubt, or hesitation. You act with confidence because you know that your desire is already a reality. Living from this assumption also eliminates the need to worry about how your desires will come to pass. Most people spend their time worrying about the how of manifestation. They wonder where the money will come from or how they will meet the right person. But the how is not your job. The universe takes care of the details. Your job is to assume that your desire is already fulfilled and to act as though it is. The more you live from that assumption, the more the universe will provide the circumstances and opportunities needed to bring your desire into physical form. One of the greatest obstacles that people face in manifestation is doubt. Doubt creates resistance. It creates a barrier between you and your desire. But when you assume that your desire is already fulfilled, doubt has no place in your mind. Doubt is simply a reflection of an old belief system that does not align with your new assumption. As you continue to live from the assumption that your desire is already realized, the doubts will fade away, and you will begin to see evidence of your desires manifesting in your life. Assumption also requires faith. The faith that what you are assuming will come to pass. This is not blind faith. This is faith rooted in the certainty that your inner world creates your outer reality. When you live from the assumption that you are already successful, already wealthy, or already in the relationship you desire, you are living in faith. This faith is not something you need to work hard at. It is simply a result of your belief in the power of assumption. The more you assume, the stronger your faith becomes, and the quicker your desires come into fruition. Your current reality is simply a reflection of past assumptions. If you are not happy with your current situation, it is because your previous assumptions have created it. But the good news is you have the power to change your assumptions at any time. This means that you can start today to assume a new reality for yourself. The more you assume your desires are already fulfilled, the more your external world will begin to reflect that assumption. This process may seem difficult at first, especially if you are not used to living from the assumption of fulfillment. But the key is consistency. You must persist in your assumption, even if your current circumstances do not immediately reflect it. The universe works in alignment with your beliefs, not your external circumstances. It takes time for the physical world to adjust to your new assumptions. But when you remain steadfast in your belief, you will begin to see the shift. Your assumption is the seed, and your life is the garden. If you plant the seed of abundance, of success, or of love, and nurture it with faith and persistence, the universe will provide the conditions necessary for that seed to grow into your reality. Every thought you have, every belief you hold, and every assumption you make is a seed that will eventually sprout into your experience. If you want to see change in your life, you must begin by changing the seeds you are planting. This is the power of the law of assumption. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are aligning yourself with the forces of creation. The universe responds to your belief, and as your belief grows stronger, your reality begins to shift. Your job is to assume with unwavering confidence that your desires are already fulfilled. We often hear the term the law of attraction and think of it as a magical force that brings us whatever we want simply by wishing for it. While it's true that your thoughts and feelings are incredibly powerful, the process of manifestation requires more than just passive thinking or visualizing. The law of attraction does not simply work through the act of attracting. It's about the deeper and more consistent practice of embodying your desire. In order to manifest something, whether it's wealth, love, or health, you must first change your perception of reality and live from the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled. The power of manifestation lies not in the attraction, but in the assumption, in knowing that what you want is already yours. If you want to manifest anything in life, you must start with the assumption that it already exists in your reality. It's easy to say, I want a new job, or I want to win the lottery. But the key to manifesting these desires is to shift from wanting to knowing that the thing you desire is already a part of your life. The first step in manifestation is adopting the belief that the desire is already a fact, and that belief must be unwavering. When you assume the feeling of your desire being fulfilled, you align yourself with the creative forces of the universe, and those forces will begin to work in your favor, bringing about the circumstances and events that will make your desire a reality. Most people struggle with manifestation because they are still holding on to the belief that they lack something. They may affirm their desires or visualize them, but deep down they still believe that what they want is outside of their reach. This gap between what they want and what they believe they deserve creates a resistance to manifestation. The key to overcoming this resistance is to bridge that gap through the assumption that what you want is already yours. The moment you embrace this assumption, you release the resistance and you open yourself to receiving your desire. Assuming your desire is already fulfilled is more than just a mental exercise. It requires you to embody the emotions of already having what you want. If you want to manifest financial abundance, you must begin to feel the emotions associated with wealth, security, freedom, and peace. You must immerse yourself in the experience of already being wealthy. Imagine what it would feel like to live without financial worry, to know that your bills are paid and your desires are met. The more vividly you can imagine this feeling, the more real it becomes in your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. So when you feel the emotions of having your desire fulfilled, you are impressing that reality upon your subconscious. Your subconscious mind is the creative force behind all manifestations. It is like a fertile garden that will grow whatever seed you plant in it. If you plant the seed of wealth, abundance, or success, and nurture it with consistent feelings of already having it, your subconscious mind will begin to work tirelessly to bring that seed into full bloom. But if you plant the seed of lack, fear, or doubt, the garden of your subconscious will grow more of those things. This is why your feelings are so important. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are planting the seed of your desire in the fertile ground of your subconscious mind. Living from the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled means you stop looking outside of yourself for validation or proof. The physical world will always reflect what you believe to be true about yourself and the world. If you believe that you are worthy of wealth and success, you will begin to notice the opportunities and circumstances that will lead you to that reality. If you believe that you are deserving of love, you will find yourself attracting relationships that reflect that belief. Your external world is a reflection of your internal state. The moment you change your assumption and live as though your desire is already fulfilled, you will see your world begin to shift to match that assumption. However, this process requires consistent practice and faith. You cannot assume that your desire is already fulfilled for a few minutes, only to doubt it the next time you face an obstacle. This is where many people falter. They begin to assume their desire is fulfilled, but when they don't see immediate results, they return to old thought patterns of doubt and uncertainty. The key to manifestation is persistence. You must consistently live from the assumption that your desire is already realized, regardless of what is happening in your physical reality. If you want to manifest wealth, for example, continue to feel as though you are already wealthy, even if you don't yet have the money in your bank account. Your bank account will reflect your assumption in time. The act of assumption requires complete faith in your own creative power. It is not about hoping or wishing for something to happen. It is about knowing that it is already happening. You must live with the certainty that your desires are already a part of your life. This certainty is what fuels the creative forces within you. It is a knowing, not a hoping or a wishing. When you live in that state of knowing, your external world must align with that knowing, and your desires will manifest in the physical world. The power of assumption is that it taps into the limitless potential that exists within you. When you assume your desire is already fulfilled, you are aligning yourself with the energy of that desire. That energy draws to you the circumstances, people, and opportunities that will bring your desire into physical form. Whether your desire is financial abundance, success in your career, or a new relationship, the power of assumption is the key that unlocks the door to manifestation. By assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled and living in that assumption every day, you become a magnet for the things you desire. Your thoughts, feelings, and actions are aligned with your desire, and the universe responds by bringing it into your experience. Remember, manifestation is not about chasing after something that feels distant or unattainable. It is about recognizing that what you desire is already yours and living from that assumption. When you live as though your desires are already fulfilled, the universe has no choice but to reflect that belief back to you. It is the natural law of creation. What you assume is what you will create. The key is to live in the assumption of your desires, feel the emotions of fulfillment, and trust that the universe will bring it all to you. The process of manifestation, at its core, is rooted in the power of your assumptions. So often, people look for external signs, waiting for the universe to give them a green light or to provide a sudden miracle. However, true manifestation begins with one simple and powerful act: assuming that what you desire is already true, regardless of the circumstances around you. The concept of manifesting through the assumption of fulfillment is not about waiting for the outside world to change. It is about changing how you perceive your world and how you choose to live within it. Assumption is a practice of living in the end result, of living as though your desires are already fulfilled. This means shifting your entire way of thinking, feeling, and acting. You must embody the end result of your desire even before it physically manifests in your life. The power of assumption lies in your ability to immerse yourself fully in the state of already having what you want. This requires you to stop seeing yourself as lacking anything and start seeing yourself as already abundant, successful, healthy, or loved, whatever your desire may be. The idea of living as though your wish is already fulfilled can seem unnatural at first. Many people are conditioned to look outside of themselves for validation or external evidence of their desires. But the truth is, the outside world is simply a reflection of what is happening inside you. If you desire wealth, but you still see yourself as lacking or unworthy of wealth, that inner conflict will create resistance, and your desires will be blocked. On the other hand, when you begin to assume the feeling of already having wealth, you align your inner state with the very thing you wish to attract. You begin to believe that wealth is already yours, and that belief sets the creative forces in motion. This is where the power of imagination comes in. Imagination is the bridge between the inner world and the outer world. When you assume that your desires are already fulfilled, you must vividly imagine yourself in the situation you desire. You don't just wish for it, you experience it as if it is already happening. If you want to manifest a new job, for example, you don't merely imagine the details of the job itself, but also the emotions that come with it, the excitement, the sense of accomplishment, and the confidence of already being employed. The more real and vivid you make this experience in your imagination, the more your subconscious mind will accept it as truth. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. When you feel the emotions associated with your desired outcome, the subconscious takes that feeling as fact and begins to rearrange your reality to match it. This is why assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled is so powerful. Your subconscious mind accepts this new assumption, and it starts working behind the scenes to bring your desires into physical form. The key to manifestation is not waiting for the external world to provide evidence of your desire. It's about living from the assumption that it's already here, and in doing so, allowing the universe to match that inner state with corresponding external results. This idea of living in the end does not require you to wait passively for your desires to materialize. It is an active, consistent practice of seeing yourself as the person who already has what you want. If you want to manifest a successful career, you must begin acting like someone who is already successful in their field. This means taking steps forward with the confidence and certainty that your success is inevitable. When you align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the assumption of success, the universe begins to reflect that energy, bringing you the people, opportunities, and circumstances that will help you achieve your goals. Living in the end is also about removing doubt. Doubt is the biggest obstacle to manifestation. It comes from a place of fear and resistance, and it can easily derail the process. When you doubt that your desire will manifest, you are sending a signal to your subconscious that what you want is not possible. This creates a disconnect between your inner assumptions and the reality you wish to create. Doubt is simply the fear that what you want is outside of your reach. But it is important to recognize that this fear is based on past experiences, not on the true potential of your inner power. To overcome doubt, you must continue to strengthen your assumption. The more you persist in assuming that your desire is already fulfilled, the more confident you will become in your ability to manifest it. When doubt arises, it is simply an indication that your faith in your own assumptions needs to be reinforced. Doubt fades when you remain steadfast in your belief that the feeling of fulfillment is already yours. This is where the consistency of your assumption comes into play. Persistent belief in the fulfillment of your desire is what will eventually lead to its physical manifestation. It is also crucial to recognize that manifestation does not happen overnight. The process of assuming and feeling the wish fulfilled is not about instant gratification. It is a practice, a way of life. It is about gradually shifting your perception of reality and consistently living from the assumption that what you desire is already part of your life. The more you embody this assumption, the more your external world will begin to reflect it. This is a natural law, the law of assumption, which states that what you assume to be true will eventually become your reality. This process also involves letting go of the need for control. Often we feel the need to figure out the how of our desires, how we will achieve them, how the circumstances will unfold. But when you live from the assumption of fulfillment, you release the need to control the outcome. The universe will work out the details. Your job is to remain focused on your assumption and trust that the path will reveal itself. Trusting the process is an essential part of living from the assumption that your desires are already fulfilled. It requires faith in yourself, in the process, and in the creative power that lies within you. Ultimately, the key to manifesting anything is to live as though your desires are already part of your reality. The moment you shift from wishing for something to assuming that it is already yours, you activate the creative power within you. Your thoughts, feelings, and actions align with the assumption of fulfillment, and the universe must bring you the circumstances and opportunities that match that state. The more you live from this assumption, the quicker and more powerfully your desires will manifest in your physical world. In conclusion, the power to manifest your desires lies within you, and it begins with the simple yet profound act of assumption. By embracing the belief that your desires are already fulfilled, you align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the very energy needed to bring them into your reality. Whether you desire wealth, success, love, or health, the key is to live as though your desires have already been realized. This process requires persistence, faith, and a consistent focus on the feeling of fulfillment, rather than waiting for external validation. The external world is a reflection of your internal state. When you change your assumptions and live from the belief that your desires are already part of your life, your outer reality must align with those assumptions. The law of assumption works because the subconscious mind accepts what is consistently believed and felt as true, and then begins to manifest it in the world around you. Remember, it is not enough to merely think about your desires or wish for them. You must embody the emotions of already having them and live as if they are yours right now. By doing so, You will tap into the limitless creative power that exists within you, and the universe will respond by bringing you the opportunities, circumstances, and people that align with your inner assumptions. In the end, manifestation is not about waiting for something to happen. It is about living from the assumption that it already has. The more you persist in this assumption, the more you will see your desires unfold in your life, creating a reality that reflects the abundance, success, and fulfillment you have always dreamed of.